From Pasadena in sunny California, the annual Rose Bowl game, daddy of them all. Happy New Year, everybody everywhere. This is Mel Allen with John Harrington, greeting you as the Wildcats from Northwestern prepare to tangle with the Golden Bears of California in a gridiron battle that promises excitement galore. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a tremendous thrill to be here at the Rose Bowl. And right now, to paint the picture of this magnificent spectacle is my colleague on this broadcast today, CBS 8 Sports broadcaster, John Harrington. Johnny, come on in. The microphone is yours.
Thank you, Mel. And hello, everyone. Yes, Mel, you're right. This is Pasadena, California. The Tournament of Roses, the Rose Bowl. The Golden Bears of the University of California at Berkeley. The Wildcats of Northwestern University from Evanston, Illinois. Cheers, color, flowers, everything you can imagine. The day for which this reporter, and I know you too, Mel, has prepared all week. Are there words to describe a Tournament of Roses and a Rose Bowl game? I wonder. Could it be that after 19 years of broadcasting, this is something that defies description? It is so much more than just an ordinary football game that it leaves you completely in awe. You sit humbled before this January version of America's frantic autumnal madness. It is a huge, dramatic, exciting spectacle. There are so many thrills that during those last frantic 3 or 4 days that any reporter wonders which is important and which are not. The band of California has just entered the field now, and that was what that tremendous cheer has just gone up for at the far end of the field. The Northwestern band is lined up at this, the north end, and from the south end comes the band of the University of California. And speaking of thrills and things that are important, for instance, this broadcast of the Rose Bowl game from Pasadena, California today is being shortwaved overseas through the worldwide facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service so that our men every place can hear it. The Rose Bowl parade this morning was one of the most beautiful sights that these two eyes have ever witnessed. This 60th annual Tournament of Roses parade was called Childhood Memories, and each float lended itself to lightness, gaiety, scenes of the old swimming hole and Santa Claus, the circus, castles in the sand, everything. They all created, all of them, from fresh flowers in their natural color. Its beauty in itself, something akin to a childish fancy, for as you watch, it seems to be a beautiful dream. Float after float, and each seemingly more splendid than the last. Well over 1 million people watch starry-eyed as that parade of floats and bands and fine horsemen bedecked in silver trappings moved past. And then we came out to the Rose Bowl. This Rose Bowl game is pride in school, section, state, but most of all, pride in America. For this, as Mel said a moment ago, is the granddaddy of bowl games, the #1 game in this country of ours. And as I sit here in the broadcasting booth ready to give you lineups and incidental notes on this game, I can see why all of the excitement and the near hysteria comes about. The California team has just come on now on the field after playing the fanfare from the south end. A tremendous cheer goes up from the California section across from us, just all a part of this near hysteria. This will be a great football game. Every Rose Bowl game seems to surpass the last one. The first Rose Bowl football game was played on January 1st, 1902 between Stanford and Michigan. Then the second game was played many years later in 1916. From then on until today, there has been one every January 1st here in the Rose Bowl. California has played 4 times in the Rose Bowl. In 1921, they defeated Ohio State 28-0. In 1922, they played a 0-0 tie with Washington and Jefferson. In 1929, Georgia Tech defeated them by just 1 point, 8-7. And in 1938, California defeated Alabama 15-0. 4 games in the Rose Bowl for California, 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. And now 11 years to the day after that defeat of Alabama 13-0, they play the Wildcats of Northwestern, who are playing their first Rose Bowl game. They are here representing the Western or Big 9 Conference against California, the pick of the Pacific Coast Conference. The 2 coaches were teacher and pupil just 10 years ago. Bob Voits was an All-American tackle playing under Lynn Waldorf, then coach of Northwestern University. It is an odd circumstance, too, that sees the coach of one team here today in the Rose Bowl able to walk out and call 34 men of the 46-man squad of his opponent by their first names and know them all. Yes, 34 of the Northwestern squad here in the Rose Bowl played under Pappy Waldorf, now of California, just 3 years ago when he was coaching Northwestern. Can the pupil, using the same personnel, defeat his teacher? Time alone, some 2.5 hours of it will tell us that story. Mel Allen will bring you the complete word picture starting in just a few minutes. There is a basis of comparison, however, between teacher Lynn Waldorf and pupil Bob Voigt and their respective teams. They have played two common opponents. Northwestern played UCLA and defeated them 19-0. California played UCLA and defeated them 28-13, or by 15 points as against 19 for Northwestern. There's a difference here, too, of an early season game played between Northwestern and UCLA and a late season battle between California and UCLA. Certainly Northwestern improved as the season progressed. How much, perhaps, can be determined today. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. 93,000 people jam-packed into Pasadena's Rose Bowl today, all standing on their feet. Our national anthem played by the California Band. A great many of them in that cheering section in the card section across the way, which is put up there by California, which we'll tell you more about at halftime, singing along with the band our national anthem. Getting back to these two teams playing here in the Rose Bowl this afternoon, both schools have also played another common foe. That foe was Wisconsin of the Big Ten. Here, if you go by scores, California has a big edge, for the Golden Bears defeated Wisconsin 40-14. Northwestern defeated the same team only 16-7. Here again, the cold figures in the scores do not tell a complete story. For in that Northwestern-Wisconsin tilt, the Wildcats had a very definite off day. But on the basis of scores only, Cal has the edge. Other statistics disprove this, however. Northwestern gained more on the ground in both of the games against their common foes, UCLA and Wisconsin. And it looked better rushing than did California in those games. And now the California alma mater song. Ladies and gentlemen, because time draws near for the opening kickoff of this ball game, and we want to bring Jimmy Kane to you from the field as soon as he's out there with the two captains, here are the lineups for the visiting team out here at the Rose Bowl from the Big Ten, representing the Big Ten Conference, Northwestern. At left end, Joe Zuravlev, 6'2", 190 pounds, a junior from Erie, Pennsylvania. At left tackle, Steve Saul, 6 feet 2, 210 pounds, a junior from Kenilworth, Illinois. At left guard, Eddie Nemeth, 5 feet 9, 200 pounds, a junior from East Chicago, Indiana. At center, Captain Alex Sarkeesian, 6 feet 1, 215 pounds, a senior from East Chicago, Indiana. At right guard, Fatso Day, 6 feet 2, 215 pounds, a junior from Mason City, Iowa. At right tackle, Rudy Cernak, 6 feet 4, 207, a sophomore from Cicero, Illinois. At right end, Chuck Hagman, 6 feet 1, 185 pounds, a junior from Erie, Pennsylvania. At quarterback, Don Burson, 6 feet, 160, a junior from Lakewood, Ohio. At right half, Ed Tunnicliffe, a junior from Kewanee, Illinois, 5 feet 11, weighs 165 pounds. At left halfback, Frank Aschenbrenner, 5'10", 188, a senior from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. At fullback, Art Murakowski, 6 feet, 195 pounds, a junior from East Chicago. The average line now for California, 213 pounds, for Northwestern, 203 pounds. The backs, 179 pounds for Northwestern and 179 pounds for California. The team averages 200 pounds for California, 194 for Northwestern. I see Jimmy Kane is standing down there talking now. He's bringing the two captains over. Alex Sarkeesian I see coming over for Northwestern, and the captain from California is coming over, shaking hands with the officials as they do. They're bringing them to the CBS microphone below so that we may bring you Jimmy Kane's voice and the two captains of these two teams, Gene Francetto and Alex Sarkeesian, and here they are.
I'm going to introduce you and everything when we get.
All right.
Captain Alex Sarkeesian of Northwestern. May I present Captain Gene Francetto of California.
Hi, Captain.
Boys, as you know, this is going to be an important game to both of you. It's going to be a good, hard game. We want you to play hard. But now, if there's a penalty at any time, we like both captains to come up fast so we can give you the penalty and you can make a decision on what you'd like to have. Now, if there's a question at any time, we want either of you to come up and ask, and I'll be very happy to go over it with you. Now, if you boys have a question, have the boys talk to you, and you in turn talk to me. So now, boys, we'll have the toss. Captain Alex Sarkeesian of Northwestern, you're the guest. We will let you call it in the air. Heads. It comes up tails. Captain Gene Francetto of California, you win the toss.
We will receive.
You will have your choice of defending either goal.
We will defend that goal.
You will defend the north goal. You're kicking from the south.
We will kick this way. We will kick this way.
You'll kick this way.
That's right, defending that goal.
Captain, best of luck to both of you. Let's have a good, clean game out here. Be ready.
You have just heard the toss of the coin, ladies and gentlemen, from the field out there with Jimmy Kane, the referee, and the two captains. You heard Gene Francetto, the captain, for California win and chose to receive. Northwestern chose to kick, of course, and they will defend the south goal at the start of this game. Very hurriedly for California, Frank Van Garen is at left end from San Leandro, California. Jim Cullum is at left tackle. John Baker is at left guard. Doug Duncan at center. Right guard is Rod Franz, right tackle Gene Francetto, and right end John Cunningham. At quarterback Dick Erickson, at right half Jack Swiner, at left half Billy Main, and fullback Jackie Johnson. We'll give you more about them later on, but now here is Mel Allen. Come in, Mel.
Our broadcasting booth is on the western side of the field. The Northwestern bench on this side. Looking across the way to the far sideline is the California bench. To our left is the north goal being defended by the Golden Bears. You've got Jack Swanner and Jackie Jensen in the receiving positions. Jack Swanner is over on the near side of the field on about the 5-yard line with All-America Jackie Jensen in the receiving position deep on the far side of the field. George Maddock will kick off for Northwestern. Northwestern in deep purple uniforms with white numerals, California in white jerseys. And we're all set to go. California wearing hockey pants and Northwestern a type of gray. We're all set for the kickoff. George Maddock awaits the whistle. He runs forward. Here's the boot. The Rose Bowl game is underway. The ball going down to the goal line. Jackie Swanner takes it in the end zone. He's coming out to the 5. He's cutting up to the 10, to the 15, gets a block. He's up to the 20. He's hit and dropped to about the 21-yard line, and we're underway in Pasadena. He was hit and dropped by Chuck Hagman. And George Maddock, the boy who did the kicking off, and so it's California's ball, 1st and 10 on their own 21, as Jackie Swanner took that ball about 2 yards in his end zone and brought it back 21 yards. Now we'll watch the Golden Bears in operation. 2 types of T formation. And now you've got the right halfback over there. Billy Main, left halfback, is out wide to the right. Erickson up underneath the center. He has the ball, and he hands it off in there to Jackie Jensen, who goes through right tackle and moves up to the 25, and he's dropped by George Sondheim. Backing up that line, and Alex Sarkeesian. Northwestern backer-ups are tremendous. Sondheim backing up the left side of the line. Sarkeesian in the middle with Tecca the right side. And Jackie Jensen moved that ball up to the 27-yard line, a gain of 6 yards, 2nd and 4. 4 Californians there on the move. And Northwestern is using a 5-man line, a 6-3-2 defense they have now. And here is the ball being pitched out to the right halfback, Swanner, going wide as left, cutting back, but he's dropped it about the line of scrimmage. He took the pitch out from Erickson, went wide to his left, cut back inside his own left end, and was dropped as he moved across the 25 up to the 28-yard line, where Art Murakowski came in with the help of the right guard, Pat Today, to drop him. The ball is on the California 28 as they get ready to move. And now Northwestern is using almost an 8-man line in there as California with the right end split out 3 or 4 yards finds that ball being handed off in there to Jackie Jensen, or rather was Jackie Swanner, cracking in, trying to go for that first down. He's up to the 30. Joe Rizzaralra, the left end, moved in. And with the help of Alex Sarkeesian backing up the line, they dropped him on the 30. It is a gain on the play of 2 yards, so it is short of a first down. 4th down and 1 coming up for California. And now dropping back in safety for Northwestern is Frank Aschenbrenner. And in punt formation for California is Jack Jensen. He'll kick from his own 20. We're waiting the snap from center. There it is. Jensen kicking, and he gets off a wobbly boot down the near sideline, angling it for the out-of-bounds point, and it goes out of bounds on the Northwestern 45-yard line. As Jackie Jensen angled that boot for the sidelines, he kicked it out of bounds, and Northwestern takes over as the referee, Jimmy Kane, puts that ball down on the Northwestern 42-yard line. So it's Northwestern's ball, 1st and 10. On their own 42, the ball 20 yards in from the near sideline, and we'll watch the move as you've got Don Burson in there at quarterback. Frank Aschenbrenner at left half, Murakowski at full, Tunnicliffe at right half, and the ball is kept high. Burson fakes for a pass, he throws, and it's incomplete on the 30-yard line of California. The pass intended for Chuck Hagman, as the Northwestern Wildcats on their first play from scrimmage attempted to go for that TD on the first play, with Don Burson faking to his halfbacks beautifully, hiding that ball in his midsection, fading back, shooting a long pass from around his own 35 to the California 30 intended for Hagman, but it was incomplete. And so it is 2nd and 10 for Northwestern as they're ready to move. And they've got a 5-3-2-1 defense against them. The ball is handed off to Murakowski, cracking over the left side of his line. He moves past the line of scrimmage down to the 43, 44-yard line, where he's piled up in there by John Najarian, in at left tackle now for California. That hard-plunging fullback, the All-American for Northwestern, Art Murakowski, a junior, 195-pounder from East Chicago, Indiana, moves that ball to the 44-yard line. A gain of 2 yards on the play, 3rd and 8. And now on a quick T formation play, the ball's getting off to Aschenbrenner on the wide right end. Peak is going right over the full Park. He's hit and dropped on the Park on the field. By California, stopping an attempt at a first down. Murakowski leading the way, attempting to throw the key block, but he couldn't do it as the California Bears stopped that surge with Tim Minahan, the defensive left halfback, moving up to meet the play. And the ball was moved forward to the 47. And now we'll watch California, Northwestern, as they go into punt formation. Aschenbrenner back, gets off a boot, going deep down to the California 5, taken in there by Keckley. He's coming up to the 10, running over to the near side of the field to the 15. He gets a block. He's up to the 20. He's hit and dropped on the 21-yard line. An exchange of punts, neither team. First time they got their hands on the ball, able to go for a first down. And you've got California now in possession as Steve Saul and Ed Nemeth made the tackle on George Keckley, who returned that punt from the 5 of California to the California 21-yard line. So it is 1st and 10 for California on their own 21. No score. It's the Rose Bowl game. We're in the first quarter, the opening moments. The ball 20 yards in from the near sideline. And you've got in there now for Northwestern. Joe Zaroblev in there at left end. Chuck Hagman at right end. And as California has substituted, we'll pick them up. They've got their offensive unit in there with Dick Erickson at the quarterback spot, Billy Main, Jack Jensen, and Jack Swanner. And the left halfback, Main, is lined up wide to the left. The ball is carried by Jack Swanner, thrust through the middle. He doesn't go far as that rugged Northwestern line piles him up. Just as he cracked his way across the line of scrimmage, he was stopped by Fats O'Day, the big 215-pound right guard, and Steve Saul, the left tackle for Northwestern. Jimmy Kane puts that ball down on the 23-yard line, on the 24-yard line of California. Gain of 3 yards, 2nd and 7 for the Golden Bears. T formation. Dick Erickson up underneath the center with the left halfback, Billy Main, right in behind him. The other two backs off to the right. The right halfback, Swanner, goes in motion off to the left, lines up as a flanker. The ball comes back, and it is handed off to Jensen. He's going wide to his left, cuts back, and he's dumped on the 25-yard line. He can't get past that Northwestern line with Art Murakowski coming up from the secondary to dump him hard on the Rose Bowl turf here in Pasadena, California. And the ball is on the California 25.5-yard line. Let's call it the 26. Keep the figures round. It's 3rd and 5 for the Golden Bears. On that play was Rudy Sarnock, the big right tackle, a sophomore who messed up the interference for California and actually made the play, failed again. And now you've got the right halfback, the left halfback, Billy Main, lining up as a flank out wide to the right. The ball is pitched out to Jensen. He's fading for a pass. He throws a long one downfield, and to and drops by the man for whom the pass and he by the man for whom the pass was intended. Frank Van Doren, and it's Northwestern ball. A long pass thrown by Jack Jensen from about his 20. All the way downfield to the Northwestern 25-yard line approximately. And it was intercepted by Northwestern. And at this point, Northwestern takes a timeout as Dick Flowers, sophomore quarterback who is in there on defense, was hurt on the play. He's all right, though, as he walks off the field. Time back in. 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. No score. California and Northwestern. Northwestern's ball. 1st and 10. Their own 25. And the ball is fumbled as it was carried by Aschenbrenner down to the 40. California recovers. It was Tim Minahan, California quarterback, who recovered a fumble. On the play, Burson handed off to Frank Aschenbrenner, the left halfback, who cracked over his left guard, was hit hard at the line of scrimmage. Hit very hard. The ball popped out of his hands and went upfield to the Northwestern 40, and it was recovered by Tim Minahan, and it's California's ball, 1st and 10 on the Northwestern 41, and we'll watch the move. They've got Jack Swanner, the right halfback, lined up as a flanker to the left. Underneath the centers, Dick Erickson with the ball. He fakes a pass, gives it off to Jensen, and he's hit behind the line of scrimmage by Fats O'Day, that right guard, who submarined in there and met Jensen head on. He was helped out by Chuck Hagman, the right end. All-America Jackie Jensen on a fake pass as Erickson handed it off to Jensen, went back, faked the pass, and Jensen tried to crack through the right side of his own line, but the ball came to rest on the Northwestern 43, a loss of 2, 2nd and 12 for California. And now they've got Swanner again lined up as a flanker wide to the left. And the ball is kept by Erickson. Fades for a pass, fires, completes, and He had it. Johnny Cunningham had it in his hands on the Northwestern 30. All alone down the near sideline. And he took his eyes off the ball for a moment and dropped it. And so it's an incomplete pass. The Golden Bears attempting to score here. No score. We're in the first quarter with about 8.5 minutes of playing time remaining. And so it's 3rd and 12 for California on the Northwestern 43. The ball 20 yards in from the near sideline. California all set. This time the ball is kept by Erickson as he fakes to a back, and he's in immediately as a fumble in the backfield. And it looks from here as if Northwestern might have recovered, but Jimmy Kane, the referee, does not say that they did. It was Steve Saul who hit him. And the whistle had blown. A loss on the play for California. The whistle had blown before the ball was fumbled and recovered by Northwestern. So California remains in possession with the ball on the Northwestern 48-yard line. A loss of 5 makes it 4th and 17. And now you've got Frank Aschenbrenner in safety for Northwestern with Jack Jensen in punt formation for California, standing on his own 42, the snap from center. He kicks, angling for the sidelines. And there's the ball going out of bounds on the Northwestern 27-yard line approximately. They're lining it up. They're afraid of this Northwestern ability to return punts, and so Jackie Jensen has been angling those kicks out of bounds. This ball game is anticipated by everyone to be a rugged struggle, and so far it's been just that. Neither team able to go for that first down to pick up that needed yardage to move downfield. And so it's Northwestern's ball now, 1st and 10 on their own 27. We'll watch the move. T formation. The ball is handed off by Burson to Aschenbrenner on a quick slanting play off right tackle. He breaks into the clear. He's at midfield. He's down to the California 40, to the 30, to the 20. Beautiful blocking. He's going all the way to the TD. Northwestern leads 6-0 as Frank Aschenbrenner on a handoff from Don Burson, the left halfback, slanted to his right side, reversed his field, and with beautiful blocking by Ed Tunnicliffe, throwing a key block in there, went all the way. And now the try for the extra point. The snap, the kick, and it is good. Beautifully kicked in there by Jim Farrar, and Northwestern leads 7-0. A 73-yard run by Frank Aschenbrenner of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. A 5'10" senior, a 23-year-old 188-pounder who took a handoff from Don Burson, lining up at left halfback in T formation. He slanted to his right, cut off his own right tackle. Got a good block in there by right halfback Ed Tunnicliffe, and then reversed his field, popped out into the clear. Art Murakowski threw another key block, and he was off to the races. And Aschenbrenner ran 73 yards for the touchdown. It took 2 plays for Northwestern to move for the TD all the way, and they lead 7-0. Jim Farrar, Cleveland, Ohio, added the extra point, and now Northwestern will kick off to California with 7 minutes of play remaining in the first period. That lightning-like explosion off T formation sends the Wildcats of Northwestern out in front, 7-0. First quarter, we're speaking to you from the Rose Bowl. And now George Maddox will kick off for Northwestern with Pee Wee Day holding. Here's the kick. A beauty going all the way down to the goal line with Jack Swanner taking that ball. He fumbles momentarily, comes up to the 5, to the 10, slips, up to the 15, gets a block. He's to the 20, the 25, the 30, and he's hit and dropped on the 33-yard line by Alex Sarkeesian. Beautiful run back by Jack Swanner, senior from Coalinga, California. He fumbled that ball momentarily as he caught it on the goal line. It looked as if he might attempt to work a crisscross with Jackie Jensen, but after having fumbled, changed his mind, came up the near sideline behind good blocking, and moved that ball to the California 33. 1st and 10 for the Golden Bears. And now we'll watch California as they operate, with Northwestern's defensive unit in there now. Sondheim backing up the left side of the line. The ball is handed to Jack Swanner. He's blowing wide. He's up, touched off left tackle. And Jensen, and he's into the clear. He's down to the 40. He's down to the 30. To the 10. And he's... Jackie Jensen, the All-America fullback from Oakland, California, took that ball. Handed off to him by Dick Erickson, went to his left, cut off left tackle, reversed his field, and ran 68 yards for the touchdown in a ball game that has suddenly exploded, and it's a wide-open affair. 7-6 in favor of Northwestern, attempting the extra point for California would be Jim Cullum. The snap, the kick, and it is a ball game. How about that? The two teams rocking along, neither team able to get anywhere, exchanging punts, and then suddenly Northwestern exploded with Frank Aschenbrenner going off tackle, reversing his field, going 73 yards for the touchdown. And suddenly, after the following kickoff, with Swanner returning the kickoff to his own 33, and then suddenly on a fake to Swanner and a handoff to Jackie Jensen, he went to his left, cut back over his own left tackle, reversed his field into the clear, came down the near sideline and ran 68 yards for the tying TD as the extra point was added by Jim Cullum. What a ball game. And now we've got California kicking off to Northwestern with Hank Borgie, a senior from Niles, California, doing the kicking honors. He runs forward. Here is his boot. It's a low end-over-end kick going down to the 15-yard line, taken in there by Frank Aschenbrenner. He's hit on the 22. Billy Montagna raced in there and hit him hard and dropped him. Didn't let him get it back too far as Frank Aschenbrenner returns the California kickoff to the Northwestern 23-yard line, make it. And California sends in its defensive unit with Lauder, Baker, and Heilman backing up that line. And now Northwestern on offense. The ball is handed off by Burson to Ed Tunnicliffe. He tries to come over the left side of his line, is hit as he moves in between the left end and the left tackle of Northwestern, gets past the 20, down to about the 22, with George Sousa, the right end, a junior from Vallejo, California, in there to make the tackle. No gain on the play. Northwestern's ball, 2nd and 10. On their own 23, score tied 7-7. First quarter, it's the Rose Bowl. Don Burson underneath the center. And he with the ball, hands it off now to Murakowski, breaking through the middle into the secondary, and he's hit as he crosses the 25, down to about the 28, with Billy Montagna moving in from his defensive right halfback spot with the help of the backer up, Will Lauder, a senior from Alameda, California, to stop the play. Now there's a discussion. Jim Kane and the officials. Alex Sarkeesian of Northwestern, the captain, in on the discussion, along with Will Lauder, representing California. And I believe, as we watch Jimmy Kane, he's going to step off a penalty against Northwestern. Backfield illegally in motion. 5-yard penalty against Northwestern. Back illegally in motion as Murakowski had advanced that ball for yardage. But the gain is nullified, and Northwestern is penalized back to their 18. So it is 2nd and 15. They got the right halfback out wide to the right. The ball is handed off. There's a horn on the plate to Murakowski in the same way. Popped into the clear, down to the 30, down to the 40. He's at midfield and knocked out of bounds on the California 49-yard line. Frank Aschenbrenner throwing a key block in there, and Paul Keckley coming up from safety to knock him out of bounds. But as we told you, there was a horn on the play as Murakowski broke through the line of scrimmage. And now we'll see. It's going to be a penalty, I do believe, against Northwestern, nullifying a brilliant run by All-America Art Murakowski of East Chicago, Indiana. A charging Wildcat. The penalty against Northwestern of 5 yards. They were offside. California of course, takes that penalty, 5-yard penalty against Northwestern for being offside. And so we'll watch them operate now with the score, Northwestern 7, California 7, with 5 minutes left in the first quarter, as they've got Don Burson in there at quarterback. Now, wait a moment. The ball was on the 18-yard line, and Jimmy Kane has put it back down on the 18-yard line. And so we are holding activity up here for a moment, and now Jimmy picks the ball up and is going to step off another 5 yards. We were wondering. Jimmy Kane put the ball back on the 18. Northwestern had been previously penalized 5 yards for backfield illegally in motion, and this up another 5 back to their 13, and it is 2nd and 20. And now we'll watch them as Don Burson with that ball fakes to his right, hands it off to Ed Tunnicliffe, who knifes through the middle, doesn't get very far, up to about the 15-yard line with John Baker. John Baker, the left guard, a backer up for California from San Francisco, making the defensive play for the Golden Bears. The ball is on the Northwestern 14-yard line. So it is 3rd down coming up. About 18 to go. And now the ball is handed off this time to Frank Ashenbrenner, running wide to his right, tucked back over his own right tackle, and is stopped cold as he tries to go for yardage as he moves across the line of scrimmage past the 15 to about the 16 with Jim Turner, a great tackle for California, who was hurt earlier in the season and is unable to play offensive football, but can get in there and play a whale of a defensive game. And so the ball is placed by Jimmy Kane on the Northwestern 18-yard line with 4th down coming up. And 14 to go. Northwestern shifts into a punt formation with Frank Ashenbrenner kicking from about his own 8 or 9-yard line. He gets his kick away nicely, and waiting for it is Paul Keckley on the California 40, up to the 45 to midfield, to Northwestern 45 to the 40. He's hit and dropped and falls forward to about the Northwestern 38-yard line with Joe Zarabla, the left end for Northwestern, and Alex Sarkees in the center, bringing him down. And it was George Sousa, the right end, who threw a key block on the play to enable Paul Keckley of Pomona, California, to run that kickoff back. And so the Golden Bears are in Northwestern territory on the Wildcats' 37-yard line. So it is 1st and 10 for California on their own on the Northwestern 37. Northwestern 7, California 7. We're speaking to you from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. And now we've got Northwestern on defense with Sunheim, Sarkees, and Witeka backing up the line. Bob Solari's in there at quarterback now for California. He has that ball, and he's hiding it behind his back. Fades for a pass, throws a long one intended for Swanner, and it is intercepted on the 10 by Northwestern. Tom Worthington, the defensive right halfback, faded back beautifully and took that ball out of the hands of Jackie Swanner down on the Northwestern 10-yard line. And so the Golden Bears bid for the touchdown to put them ahead as they gamble beautifully on the first play from scrimmage in this particular series of downs. 1st and 10 on the Northwestern 37. Bob Solari, who'd gone in there at quarterback, faked to Jensen, faked to Swanner, who went downfield and hid the ball behind his back and let go with a beautiful pass downfield that was sensationally intercepted in there by Tommy Worthington of Sari, Pennsylvania. And so Northwestern takes over in a seesaw struggle, 7-7 the score, with 3 minutes left in the first period. Northwestern's ball 1st and 10 on their own 14-yard line. We'll watch the move now as Don Burson awaits that ball. He has it. He hands it off in there to Ed Tunnicliffe, who comes off the left side of his own line up to about the line of scrimmage, cracks past it with John Baker and Billy Montagna of California, the left guard and right halfback respectively, moving in to make the defensive play for the Golden Bears. Jimmy Kane puts that ball down on the Northwestern 17-yard line, making it a gain of 3 yards on the play, 2nd and 7. And now we're watching. You've got Ed Tunnicliffe, the right halfback, and a flanker out wide to the left. It's Burson with the ball. He hands it off to Frank Ashenbrenner. No gain to amount to anything as he cracks into the middle of a rugged California forward wall with John Baker, a backer up, moving in to meet the play, along with All-America guard Rod Friend of San Francisco. Gained approximately a yard on the play. Let's make it 2 yards on the play as he fell forward. 3rd and 5 for Northwestern. They're all 19. The ball at midfield as regards the sidelines. A 6-2-2-1 defense against
Northwestern. And Burson with the ball, fades for a pass, fakes it, gives it off to Murakowski, cracks through the middle, goes for yardage, up to the 25-yard line, where it's hit and brought down by Billy Montagna, the right halfback for California, and it is a first down for Northwestern. A first down for Northwestern as Art Murakowski, a pounding fullback from East Chicago, Indiana, moved that ball for the necessary yardage. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats on their own 25. The ball 20 yards in from the near sideline. Score tied 7-7. Burson fakes off to one back, gives it off to Aschenbrenner, coming from his left halfback slot, cracks across the line of scrimmage, is hit almost immediately by Rod Franz, the right guard. And he makes 3 yards on the play as he moves it from his own 25 to his 28, 2nd and 7 for Northwestern. And we're going to have a timeout here for the Wildcats from Evanston. Score tied 7-7.
Big kick in my life, Mel, as I've had out of those 2 runs that have happened in this first quarter of a football game to make it 7-7 with those points after. Brother, I'm just sitting here numb watching this one. There were 2 bad breaks in this first quarter, too. Murakowski's long run was nullified, of course, by an offside, but Cunningham dropping a pass that was right to him, as Mel told you, and taking his eyes off the ball at the last second was a very bad break for California, too. So it's been a very even game all the way through. Come in, Mel.
All right, we're ready to move. It's Northwestern's ball on their own 28. And here is Burson pitching out now to Frank Aschenbrenner, running wide to his right, cutting down the near sideline and moving beautifully down to the 40, to the 45. He's hit and moves all the way to midfield with John Baker finally corralling him around the ankles with Billy Montagna in there to help him. And Ed Tunnicliffe throwing the key block in there to pave the way for the run. Frank Aschenbrenner taking a pitch out from Don Burson of Lakewood, Ohio. And they move that ball as Jimmy Kane places it down just short of the midfield stripe on the Northwestern 48. 1st and 10 for Northwestern on their own 48-yard line. They got a diamond defense against them right now. Here's the ball handed off to Ed Tunnicliffe. He breaks through the middle, cutting over the far side of the field to the 40, to the 35, to the 30. He's down to the 25, to the 20, and is finally brought down on the 13-yard line of California. Tim Minahan finally caught him with Chuck Hagman in there throwing a beautiful block. Is Ed Tunnicliffe of Kewanee, Illinois, racing that ball down to the Golden Bears 14-yard line now. And it's 1st and 10 for Northwestern at that point. And the crowd is standing as Don Burson underneath the center has that ball, gives it off to Murakowski, cracks over left tackle. He's hit as he gets up to about the line of scrimmage by Bob Heilman in the center, backing up that line for California. Bob Heilman from Montalvo, California, a 205-pound junior, 22 years of age, stands 6 foot tall and a great backer-up. And the ball is on the 13-yard line, a gain of a yard on the play. So it is 2nd and 9 for Northwestern as the California defenses trying to bolster now, and we'll watch them. And here is Burson hanging the ball off to the right to Murakowski, cracking through the middle, gets up to about the 10, and the middle of that line stops him with John Baker again, the left guard, and Bob Heilman moving in. And with that play, the first quarter comes to an end with the score, Northwestern 7, California 7. The score 7-7 as we get ready for the second quarter. We're all set to go. We'll have scores of other games for you. 2nd down, 7 to go for Northwestern. They're on the 10-yard line of California. And Burson pitches out to Ed Tunnicliffe, running wide to his left laterally. He's caught, and he can't get away and knocked out of bounds on the 15-yard line by George Sousa, the big right end, who trailed the play as he crashed. Trailed the play, came in behind Tunnicliffe, wouldn't let him go. He had to go laterally as the California defense played the play beautifully, and they knocked him out of bounds on the 15. So, Northwestern lost on the play. It is 3rd down coming up now. The ball on the California 15-yard line, about the 15 and a half, and now we'll watch them as the secondary for California is in tight. There's a spread tee, and the ball is given off to Murakowski, cracking through the middle. He goes down to the 11, and no further. Art Murakowski, cracking through the middle. He was hit in there by Rod Franz, and on that play, you had a split tee where the back spaced widely. And Murakowski, they were trying to spread the California defense to give Murakowski the chance to go through the middle. He moved it up to the California, the 11-yard line, and thus California takes over 1st and 10 on their own 11-yard line to stop that Northwestern surge. And now we'll watch the Golden Bears with the score 7-7. And there may have been an offside on the play possibly, as the ball was carried by Bob Del Porto on a handoff from Bob Solari for a gain of about a yard on the play, with Alex Sarkeesian making the tackle. You got Tommy Worthington moving into the ball game now for Northwestern, along with Ray Witeka for the backer up. California was offside on the play, and Northwestern refuses the penalty, since there was no appreciable gain on the play, and thus California has the ball on their own 13-yard line. 2nd down, gain of 2 yards on the play, 2nd down, 8 to go. And we'll watch them now as you have Bob Solari in there at quarterback, Charlie Sarver at left half, Jackie Jensen is in there at full, and Billy Montagna at right half. Bob Solari with that ball. Pitches out now to Jackie Swatter, who runs wide to his left, tries to cut back. He moves up to about the 14-yard line, where Art Murakowski moved up to help make the play, and Chuck Hagman and Alex Sarkeesian. Chuck Hagman, the right end, and Alex Sarkeesian. This Sarkeesian is a great center, a wonderful leader, captain of the Northwestern team. Score tied 7-7, second quarter, and the Rose Bowl, 13 minutes of playing time remaining. And you've got 3rd down coming up, 7 to go for California. We'll watch them now. Bob Solari waiting that ball. He has it, and he hands it off now to Jackie Jensen, running wide to his right, cuts off right tackle as he cuts back, moves across the 15, and moved up to the 17-yard line. He was stopped by Sarkeesian and Steve Saul, the left tackle. The ball is on the California 17-yard line, the game 3, so it's 4th and 4. And now in punt formation for California is Jackie Jensen, their All-America, standing on his own 7. A double safety set up for Northwestern. The Johnny Miller and Tom Worthington back. The snap from center. Here's the kick, a nice high one. Going down to the Northwestern 38-yard line, taken by Johnny Miller. He works a crisscross with Worthington. And Worthington is running wide with up to midfield. 35 to the 40. He is driving. He's down to the 25 and almost down to the 20-yard line where Jackie Jensen made the tackle. And California was fooled on that crisscross as Miller, who caught the punt, came toward the near sideline, and the California man raced in there and hit him hard. But it was Worthington who wound up with the ball on the crisscross and carried it all the way down to the California 22. So it is 1st and 10 for Northwestern on the Cal 22-yard line. Score tied 7-7. The ball is handed off now to John Miller, and he spins and drives through the middle of that line down to the California 15. He's piled up by Gene Purcetto, the right tackle. Jimmy Kane puts the ball down on the California 15. Substitution in there for the Golden Bears as Sarver goes out and Keckley comes in, a defensive left halfback. It is 2nd and 3 for Northwestern, and here is Gerson fading for a pass. He throws, and it is incomplete on the 10 intended for Johnny Miller. Is moving in to break up that pass was Will Lauder, who's in there at a defensive spot for the Golden Bears. He backs up the left side of the line, the linebacker, along with Baker and Heilman. So a pass from Burson intended for Johnny Miller, who's in there at left halfback, is incomplete, and thus it is 3rd and 3 for Northwestern on the California 15. Score tied 7-7, 11 minutes to go in the second quarter. Don Stonecipher in at left end for Northwestern with Burton Kettian in place of Hagman at right end, and we'll watch the Northwestern Wildcats move to 3rd and 3. And here is Burson handing that ball off to Johnny Miller, running to his right, slanting off right tackle. He doesn't get anywhere and moves across the 15 to about the 14, where Norm Presley has moved in at left end, made the tackle. And now Northwestern making a substitution. George Maddock is going to go in the left tackle, and they may attempt the field goal here with 4th down coming up. 2 yards to go on the 14-yard line of California. George Maddock, a senior from Gary, Indiana. We thought they might, but since he does some kicking, but they're not. And we'll watch Northwestern try to go as Burson hands that ball off to Murakowski, spinning, diving past the 10 of the 5, and he's stopped on the 2-yard line. Murakowski driving hard and spinning, and he would not be downed. And his knee touched the ground at about the 2, although he went on into the end zone. Jimmy Keane marked the spot immediately. And Northwestern is on the move. The score tied 7-7. And now Jimmy Keane moves the ball to the 1-yard line. That's the spot, he said. Murakowski's knee hit the ground. And we'll watch the Wildcats now as the California defense moves in to try to stop the play. And Burson hands the ball off to Murakowski, and he fumbled, I believe, as he went across, but it is a touchdown for Northwestern. He had possession when he went over the goal line. And that's all you need. On, above, or over the goal line in possession. And that's all you need for the TD. The boos that you hear is because Murakowski fumbled the ball, but in the end zone. But the rule says if you're in possession of that pigskin and go over, above, or on that goal line, it is a touchdown, no matter if you fumble after that. And so Northwestern leads 13-7. They move 22 yards in 5 plays for the score. The try for the extra point with Jim Farrar doing the kicking. Don Burson holding for Northwestern. 13-7 in favor of the Wildcats now. Jim Farrar uses the tape. Here's his kick. No good, says Jim Keane. No good, and the score remains Northwestern 13, California 7. This is Mel Allen speaking to you from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. Northwestern has just scored. They lead California 13-7 in a terrific football game. Final scores of other games in the Sugar Bowl, Oklahoma beat North Carolina 14-6. SMU defeated Oregon 21-13 in the Cotton Bowl. Texas defeated Georgia 41-28 in the Orange Bowl, and in the Gator Bowl, Clemson nudged Missouri 24-23. We'll have other scores for you from time to time of other games. George Maddock is going to kick off now for Northwestern to California. You've got Jackie Swanner in one of the receiving positions. Here's the kick. It's a short one going down to about the 25. It is taken in there by Bob Solari, running wide to his right. He gets up to the 30, is still driving hard, moves up to the 35. There's a big pileup on the far side of the field. And California takes the kickoff, a bad one, for George Maddock. It didn't go deep, went down to about the 20-25. George Sondheim was in there to make the tackle with the help of Ray Witeka for Northwestern. And it's California's ball, 1st and 10, on its own 36. Score, Northwestern 13, California 7. And the failure of Northwestern to convert on that second touchdown could prove to be a very vital factor in the final counting today. 1st and 10 for California on their own 36. And they've got Bob Solari in there at quarterback. The left halfback out wide to the left, about 5 yards. And Solari hands that ball off to Jensen. And he tries to come wide and cut in. He moves up to the 35. Is hit hard in there by Richie Anderson in at right guard and Gene Miller in at right halfback for Northwestern. The ball is placed by Jimmy Kane right down on the 36, no gain. 2nd and 10 for California. Those linebackers for Northwestern are terrific. Sondheim, Sarkeesian, Witeka, with Flowers at defensive left half, Murakowski defensive right half, and Bay in safety as a general rule. And now we'll watch California. Northwestern out in front 13-7, 9 minutes to go in the second period. Bob Solari awaiting that ball. He has it, and he pitches out now to Jensen, fading for a pass. He's being rushed. He's caught, and he can't get away. He's stopped on the 20-yard line by George Sondheim. George Sondheim was in there to rush the passer with George Maddock knifing through. And Jackie Jensen, who took a pitch out from Bob Solari, faked a run, faded back to throw the pass, and he just couldn't get it away. That Northwestern line is just operating in magnificent fashion. And so the ball is on the California 19 as they lost 17 yards on the play. 3rd and 27 for California, with the ball about 20 yards in from the far side of the field. Northwestern using a 5-3 defense. Now they have a 6-man line with a pitch out from Solari. He hands it to Jensen, and there is the handoff to Swanner going the other way on the reverse. He's down to the 25 to the 30. To the 35, and he's driven out of bounds on the far side of the field, and a beautifully executed play on the Northwestern 29. How about that? It was Don Stonecipher who finally diagnosed that bit of deception on the part of Pappy Waldorf's Golden Bears from up Berkeley way. And here's the way that play went. It was a reverse off T formation, believe it or not, with the ball handed off to Jackie Jensen, the All-America fullback who came wide to his left. as if bent on an end sweep. He handed it off to Jack Swanner, who, the right halfback, who was lined up in the flanker wide to the left, and he went far around to his right down the sideline to the Northwestern 48, 1st and 10 for California. And as they move this time, we find Bob Solari fading for a pass. He is almost caught at the 40, and he can't get it away. George Maddock hit him first, that big left tackle for Northwestern, a 230-pounder. And Bill Foreman, the right tackle, moved in. As California, unable to give their passers any sort of protection, have been unable to get that ball away. And the California quarterback, Bob Solari, was dropped on his own 41 from the Northwestern 48. 9 and 2 make 11 yards that they lost at 2nd and 21. And the timeout has been taken here by California. California, 2nd down, 21 to go. Back in their own 41. Solari, with that ball, hands it off to Jackie Jensen, cracking through the middle. He dove as he took off his feet trying to go for yardage. He only got about a yard. And he was stopped in there by Georgie Maddock and Alex Sarkeesian. Northwestern's line has been absolutely terrific. Moving in now for California as they have that ball on their own 43. You've got Staten Webster in that right halfback, Jackie Jensen in at full, Bob Solari at quarter, and Charlie Sarvers in that left halfback. 3rd and 19 for the Golden Bears. And they've got Staten Webster lined up as a wingback out to the left off T formation. And there is Solari faking and trying to throw a pass. And he's going to heave a long one, and it is completed to Van Buren, number 35 of Northwestern. It is immediately swarmed on by 5 Wildcats, with Pee Wee Day hitting him first, and then Art Murakowski moving in, and then George Sondheim. It's a 1st down for California, as Bob Solari this time got plenty of protection, threw a pass completed to Frank Van Daren, a senior, 6'1", 195-pounder from San Leandro, California, who grabbed that ball on the 35, a beautifully thrown pass, and advanced that ball to the Northwestern 34-yard line. Heard on the play was Gene Presetto, captain for California, a great guy, a great ball player, a senior from San Francisco. He was heard on the play and is being helped off the field. For the sake of Pappy Waldorf and his California Bears, it is hoped by one and all he's not badly hurt and will be able to see action further in the ball game, but he's limping off the field and will be replaced by Hank Borge, a senior from Niles, California. Gene Presetto, captain of California, hurt on the play. And so the Golden Bears are now beginning to move with 6 minutes left in the 2nd quarter, trailing Northwestern 13-7. And Bob Voigt is sending in 4 or 5 men on defense for Northwestern. We'll pick them up for you. He's sending in his first string, as a matter of fact. He's got Joe Zarov back in at left end. He's got Steve Saul back in there, Alex Sarkeesian, Ray Wateka, Fats O'Day, Rudy Cernock, and Chuck Hagman. And now we'll watch California. 1st and 10 on the Northwestern 34. Northwestern leading 13-7. The right halfback is split out wide to the right. The ball is kept by Solari. He fakes. He's going to throw a pass, a jump pass into the end zone intended for. It is knocked down on the 3s. It was intended for Sarver in the end zone. Knocked down beautifully by Tommy Worthington, who leaped high into the air on the 3-yard line and batted that ball down as Charlie Sarver, Jr. from Bakersfield, California, was all set to take it to the end zone for the tying touchdown. A beautiful play by Tommy Worthington of Surrey, Pennsylvania, as he leaped off the turf here in the Rose Bowl and batted that ball down. Boy, oh boy, Sarver was all set to wrap it up and take it home for California there. And so it is 2nd down and 10 for the Golden Bears. On the Northwestern 34, the ball 20 yards in from the near sideline. You've got Charlie Sarver split out wide to the right halfback. And the ball taken by Solari is handed off to Jensen. Cracks off right tackle, goes down to the 30 on a quick burst in there with George Sondheim, the linebacker, coming up to meet him and dropping him just short of the 30 on about the 31. A 3-yard pickup, we'll call it, 3.5 actually. And let's keep the figures round, call it a 4-yard gain, make it 3rd and 6 for California on the Northwestern 30. The ball almost at midfield as regards the sidelines. California on the offense, Northwestern on the defense. And Northwestern using a 1-2-3-4-5, a six-man line, a 6-1-2-1. And they're all set with the right halfback spread out wide to the right. It's Larry. The ball fades for a pass. He's being rushed, and he's hit back to the 40. Oh, he couldn't get it away. Smashing in there was Steve Saul, the left tackle. Boy, he drove through there, along with Chuck Hagman, the right end, as they knifed and converged on Bob Solari. And Solari couldn't get it away. And Northwestern, with one exception, has been absolutely death on California when California has tried to take to the air. That one pass from Solari to Frank Van Daren, beautifully executed, that carried down to the 34 of Northwestern, has been the only one that they've been able to complete. And you got to take your hat off to the Northwestern line play. Now Aschenbrenner moves in to replace Pee Wee Day in the safety spot for Northwestern, as fourth down is coming up for California, 15 to go. But here is Solari fading for a pass. He throws one out into the flat and is completed. The Van Daren to the 40. He's down to the 35, to the 30, down to the 29. It was a variation of a screen pass with Alex Sarkeesian and Ray Wateka finally making the tackle as that ball was thrown by Bob Solari to Frank Van Daren, who, instead of charging from his left-end position, held his ground. He had blockers moving out in front of him, and he moved to the Northwestern 29. But, of course, that wasn't enough to pick up the first down, and Northwestern takes over 1st and 10 on its own 29-yard line. And we'll watch them move now. On the offense, Northwestern leading Cal 13-7. And there's Burson handing the ball off to Tom Worthington, the right halfback, slanting to his left, stopped for no gain as he tried to move quickly on a quick opening T-formation play to his left, hoping to slant toward the far sideline. But Hank Porgy, the right tackle for California, was in there to meet him and stopped him cold at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 for Northwestern on the on the Northwestern 29-yard line. Referees take a timeout here just for a moment. 4 minutes left to go in the second period. We'll have scores of completed games and games that are still in progress for you at halftime. Northwestern set to move. Don Burson has the ball, and he hands it off to Art Murakowski, jumping over the middle of the line and starting to drive. He moves past the 30 to the 32, about the 33, where John Cunningham, the right end, met him around the middle and dropped him hard. And now you've got a substitution. Murakowski coming out, getting a nice hand, replaced by Gaspar Perricone of Denver, Colorado. The ball is in Northwestern's possession on the Northwestern 34. 3rd and 5. California using a 6-2-2-1. And now here is Burson handing the ball off to Perricone, who tried to crack off the right side of his own line. He moved the ball to the 35, where Will Lauder, backer up for California, met him and dropped him on the 35-yard line of the Wildcats. A gain of a yard on the play. 4th and 4 for Northwestern on their own 35. And now dropping back in safety for California will be Bob Del Porto of Oakley, California, senior. Shifting into punt formation is Frank Aschenbrenner for Northwestern, kicking from his own 25-yard line. The snap from center, gets his kick away. A beautiful high spiral coming down the near sideline. And it bounces on the 20, takes a reverse twist, and goes out of bounds on the California 23-yard line. Gee, that was a beauty. He kicked from about his own 25-yard line there and kicked out of bounds on the 23-yard line of California with the ball hitting on the 20. It was a beautiful high spiral. And thus California is set back deep in its own territory with 3 minutes left to go in the second quarter, with Northwestern leading Cal by a score of 13-7. Substitutions coming in for Pappy Waldorf's Golden Bears of Berkeley, and we'll pick them up as play progresses. You've got Burton Ketty in there at right end for Northwestern now, and for California, you've got Dick Erickson in there at quarterback, Charlie Sarver at left half, Jack Schwanner at right half, Jackie Johnson at full. And we'll follow the action now as the ball is kept by Erickson on a bootleg, and he runs to his left, tries to cut back, is dumped as he gets up to the line of scrimmage, falls forward for about a yard, with Burton Ketty, the right end from Morgan Park, Illinois, of Northwestern, making the tackle with the help of Steve Saul, the left tackle from Kenilworth, Illinois. And the ball is down on the Golden Bears, 24. So it is second down coming up, 9 to go for California, trailing Northwestern 13-7. About 2 minutes to play in the second quarter here in Pasadena. All right, there is Erickson, and he sends his halfback Sarver in motion out to the right. The ball is handed off, however, to Jackie Swanner, the right halfback, cutting through the middle. He goes for about a yard on the play, and Rudy Cernock, the big right tackle, a sophomore, stands 6'4", 207, is in there to block his path. He can't get very far, and Jimmy Kane takes that ball and places it down on the California 25, a gain of a yard, 3rd and 8 for California. And you've got now George Maddock in at left tackle in place of Steve Saul for Northwestern. Northwestern varies its defenses. It uses a 5-3 mostly, but occasionally it will shift into a 6-2-2-1. Sometimes they've used a diamond defense in the secondary. Now we'll watch California on the move. Erickson with that ball, hands it off to Jackie Jensen, running wide to his right. He's down to the 30, to the 35, driving hard, and is knocked out of bounds over on the far side of the field, just short of the 40. Tom Worthington, defensive left halfback, and George Sondheim moved over to meet the play as Dick Erickson handed it off to Jackie Swanner, a speed merchant, a fullback, Jackie Jensen, a fullback who can go outside and he can go inside. And he moved that ball down to the 39-yard line for California. Gained 14 for the Golden Bears to pick up a first down for California on their own 39. And now Joe Zarovlev comes out of the ball game at left end for Northwestern, is replaced by Don Stonecipher. And George Sousa is in at right end for California. You've got Bob Solari in there at quarterback now for Cal. 1st and 10 on their own 39. A minute to go. They trail Northwestern 13-7. And there's Solari fading for a pass, but he's hit back on the 28. Coming in there from Northwestern like a bullet was Don Stonecipher from left end. Boy, he crashed. He came driving in. And Solari, looking for a receiver, suddenly was hit hard from the side. He didn't know what hit him, and down he went on the Golden Bears 30-yard line. He lost 9 yards on the play. Makes it 2nd and 19. And the clock is moving. Northwestern 13, California 7. Anderson moves in to replace Day at right guard for Northwestern. Golden Bears come out of the left line of scrimmage. Northwestern has a defense set for a possible pass play. And there goes Sarver, the left halfback, in motion off to the right. As Bob Solari takes that ball, fakes it to Jensen, fades for a pass, and now he starts to run. He's being chased, throws a short pass to the 22, which is dropped by Jack Swanner, who had it in his hands on the 22. He had it in his hands. It was a low pass, and he dropped it. And there was George Maddock in there rushing that passer, hurrying Solari so that he could not get the ball away in the fashion that he would have liked to. And so with a score of Northwestern 13, California 7, and just a few seconds left in the first half, there's Jim Kane picking up the ball and moving it now against Northwestern. We'll await his signal. He moved that ball to the 31-yard line of California. I was just trying to figure out what he was doing. He did not rule it an incomplete pass at first, and he had the ball down where Swanner dropped it. But the linesman came over, and they had a discussion, ruled it an incomplete pass, so they put the ball back where it was on the play at the same line of scrimmage. And now here comes the whistle, and too much time. Jimmy Kane is going over to talk to one of the officials. And now he says, all right, let's go ahead. So the officials had a bit of discussion, so we're going to stay right where we are. And the ball comes back in a direct snap from center to Jensen. He fakes for a pass. He throws a long one downfield that intended for Charlie Sarver, but it is intercepted on the 22 by Tom Worthing. He comes back to the 30, the 35. He's hit close to the 40, but his knee touched the ground on the 38-yard line of Northwestern. Jackie Jensen on a direct snap from center threw a long pass downfield intended for left halfback Charlie Sarver. As there are about 30 seconds remaining in the first half, California bidding to tie the score or perhaps go ahead with the extra point in the closing seconds of the first half, but the pass was intercepted by Tom Worthington of Sayre, Pennsylvania, who has done a terrific job of pass defense today for Northwestern. The clock is stopped with about 30 seconds to go in this first half. Northwestern leading California by a score of 13-7. California making defensive substitutions. And we'll pick those up for you. Going in for Northwestern, Frank Aschenbrenner at left half. Pee Wee Day comes out. Gasper Perricone goes in to replace Art Murakowski for Northwestern. You have got Burton Keddy in at right end for the Wildcats. Bob Solari is still in there for California. You've got Paul Keckley in safety. as we pick up a couple of those substitutions, you've got Will Loddard backing up the left side of the line, going in at fullback. You've got Billy Montagna in there at right halfback for the Golden Bears. And now Jim Kane, the referee, indicates illegal procedure as a penalty and steps off against Northwestern, a 5-yard penalty. And so with the score, Northwestern 13, California 7, 30 seconds to go in the first half. California is all set to move from its own 33-yard line. Northwestern ready to move from its own 33-yard line. California on defense. And there's the ball by Burson, handed off to the left halfback in there. Frank Ashenbrenner driving through the middle. He doesn't get very far, crosses the line of scrimmage, goes for about 2-3 yards on the play. And we're watching the clock. The seconds are moving. Herb Pottig in there at right guard and Hank Borge, the right tackle, moved in to make the play defensively for the Golden Bears. The ball is on the 37-yard line, and with just seconds left now, 2 or 3 seconds, Northwestern may get off one play before the gun sounds to end the first half. Burson underneath the center. He has that ball. He pitches out now to Art Murakowski. Murakowski going wide to his left. Cuts back, is stopped at the 40, and there's the gun ending the first half as Murakowski has gone back into the game with the score at halftime. Northwestern 13, California 7. Bench located on the far side of the field on the eastern side, and to our left is the north goal, which California will defend to start the third period. All right. California will kick off to Northwestern. Northwestern is deployed in its receiving formation. California has not yet come onto the field. You've got Ed Tunnicliffe in the receiving position for Northwestern over toward the far side of the field with Frank Ashenbrenner on the 5-yard line over on the near side of the field. You've got Joe Zarovleff at left end, Chuck Hagman at right end. You've got Art Murakowski in there at the fullback spot. You've got Steve Saul and Rudy Cernock at the tackles, Ed Nemeth and Fats O'Day at the guards, and Alex Sarkeesian at center. And you've got George Sunheim in there in place of Don Burson for this kickoff reception by Northwestern. Sunheim in there in place of Burson to block for whoever receives the ball. Perhaps Sunheim might receive it himself. You got Hank Borge in there for California at right tackle in place of Frasetto, who was hurt. Kicking off for California will be Hank Borge. You've got George Souza in there at right end. And Frank Van Daren in there at left end for Cal. So with the score, Northwestern 13, California 7. You got Cullum and in there tackle, Baker and France at the guards, Heilman at center. Borge runs forward, gets his kickoff. It's short, going down to the 30, taken in there by Chuck Hagman. Back to the 35, driving hard up to the 38, 39-yard line, where he's hit and brought down as Hank Borge from Niles, California, got off a short kick, going down to about the Northwestern 30, where Chuck Hagman from Erie, Pennsylvania, junior right end, caught it and returned it to his own 40. George Sunheim comes out of there now for Northwestern. Replacing him is Don Burson, and it's Northwestern's ball, 1st and 10 on their own 40-yard line. You've got Paul Keckley in a safety setup for California. And now the right halfback, Tunnicliffe, goes in motion. The ball is handed off to Ashenbrenner, twisting hard through the middle, up to the line of scrimmage, drives for 2 or 3 yards. And he's finally brought down on the Northwestern 43-yard line by John Baker, the left guard, and Bob Heilman, the backer up for California. On defense, you'll have Will Lotter, a fullback, backing up the left side. John Baker backing up the middle, and Bob Heilman, a center, backing up the right side of the line for the Bears. You've got Billy Montagna as a defensive right halfback. And now Burson hands the ball off this time to Ed Tunnicliffe, who tries to cut back over his own left guard, goes to the 45-yard line, is hit and dropped hard by Bob Heilman, the center backing up the line. And Northwestern on the move, leading 13-7, advances the ball. Jimmy Kane then places it down just a yard short of the 45, indicating that the knee touched the ground at that point, and thus it's 3rd down and 6 coming up on the 44 of Northwestern. And you've got a split T with Burson of the ball, taking a pass, handing it off to Murakowski, going into the middle and going nowhere fast as he ran into a stone wall right in the middle of that line and was driven back about 5 yards by Hank Borge, the right tackle, and George Sousa's in there. Murakowski didn't like it, and he perhaps said something in there to Hank Borge, and Borge has said something back. No hostilities, just a word or two back and forth, and that got a rise out of the California crowd. Sunheim goes in there now for Northwestern in place of Don Burson. With fourth down coming up, 6 to go, Northwestern will shift into punt formation with Aschenbrenner kicking from his own 35-yard line. The snap from center, he gets his kick away, gets a beauty off with Paul Keckley going over to receive it, fumbles it on his 15, picks it up, he's running, and he doesn't go far, he's dropped down to 17. Aschenbrenner has punted sensationally today. Paul Keckley, a senior from Pomona, California, went over to the far side of the field to receive that punt, fumbled it, picked it up, tried to come back, and Chuck Hagman hit him and hit him hard. And thus it's California's ball, 1st and 10 on its own 17-yard line. And we've got a whale of a ball game with Northwestern's second touchdown failing to have the extra point added to it, and thus that could be a vital factor in the final decision this afternoon. And now for California, you've got Dick Erickson in there at quarterback, Billy Main at left half, Jackie Johnson at full, Jack Swanner at right half with Bandera and Cunningham at the ends. 1st and 10 for Cal, their own 17. And there is Erickson with the ball, and he hands it off to Swanner, going to his left. He cuts off left tackle, moves up to about the 20, where Pee Wee Day, moving up from his defensive position, makes the tackle. Art Murakowski moved over to help out. The ball is on the 23-yard line of California. 6-yard pickup by Jack Swanner from Coalinga, California. 2nd and 4 for the Golden Bears on their own 23. The ball 20 yards in from the far side of the field. And you've got Northwestern in a 5-man line, a 5-3. You've got Billy Main out there as a flanker to the right. The ball is handed off to Jensen, and he hurt. He twists an ankle and drops to the ground on the 15. He was not hit. It was Jackie Jensen who was handed that ball. He started to go wide to his right, and he suddenly, evidently we have to assume, twisted an ankle because he suddenly pulled up lame and dropped to the ground on the 15, and the Northwestern boys driving in on him in very sportsmanlike manner refused to make a tackle. They just stood there around him, and All-America Jack Jensen is hurt. He's up now limping. He deserves a tremendous hand. He ran 68 yards for a Cal touchdown. Is being helped off the field. Listen to the hand for Jensen. That's a tough break for the Golden Bears, one that nobody likes to see, as Jackie Jensen hurt a leg running with that ball without being hit. And as I say, we have to assume that perhaps he turned an ankle, or he may have pulled a muscle. Frank Brunk goes in for Jensen's fullback. It is 3rd down, coming up, 12 to go for California on their own 15. And now the ball is kept by Erickson. He's throwing a pass, and it is beautifully caught on the 30-yard line by Johnny Cunningham as he dove for that ball, which was thrown short. John Cunningham of Childress, Texas, a junior, took the pass from Dick Erickson on the near sideline as he dove for that ball. And thus it's a 1st down for California. 1st and 10 on their own 30 as the Golden Bears begin to gamble, trailing 13-7 in the Rose Bowl. 3rd quarter with 11 minutes of playing time remaining. Erickson underneath that center, awaiting that ball. He has it, and he hands it off now to Billy Main, trying to knife through the middle, but he can't get anywhere because Joe Zarovlev and Steve Saul, along with Ray Wateka, backer up, move in on him and stop him for no gain on the play. 2nd down coming up, 10 to go for California on their own 30. You've got for California, Erickson in at quarter, Billy Main at left half, Frank Brunk of Berkeley, a junior, is in at fullback in place of Jensen, and you've got Jackie Swanner at right half with Bandera and John Cunningham at the ends. You got Swanner as a flanker out wide to the left. Dick Erickson with that ball, hands it off now to Frank Brunk, running laterally. He cuts into the 30, up to the 35, to the 37 before he's down. Boy, how he was driving. Rising to the occasion with Jackie Jensen, Cal's big ground gainer, and driving back out of there through an injury. Frank Brunk came in there and, inspired by the situation, drove for yardage with Tommy Worthington and Steve Saul making the tackle. Saul from the line and Worthington coming up from his defensive right halfback spot. And so California has that ball on their own 37, 3rd down, and about 3 to go for the 1st down. And Erickson this time hands it off to Swan with the right halfback, slanting to his left, but he can't get yardage as he tries to go for the 1st down. He's stopped by Art Murakowski and Chuck Hagman, the right end. Jackie Swanner trying to go for the 1st down as he headed for the far sideline, but he was unable to make any forward progress. And Jimmy Kane a great referee, incidentally, and one of the most cooperative we've ever had the pleasure of working with, placing that ball down on the California 38-yard line. And thus it is 4th down coming up and 2 to go. And now you've got in a safety setup for Northwestern Ashenbrenner and Day at the ball. However, California's going to gamble, and they're going for that first down as they drive into the line and pick it up. Jackie Swanner, as California, with 4th and 2 coming up, elected to gamble in their own territory and cracked into the middle of that Northwestern line and did it for one of the few times today and went for the first down to the California 41. With the middle of the Northwestern line finally piling up the play, but not before the first down had been consummated. Boy, they have to take your hat off to California for gambling right there, deep in their own territory, trailing by a touchdown, 13-7, third quarter here in the Rose Bowl, 9 minutes of playing time remaining. Navarro replaces Brunk in the backfield for the Golden Bears. Frank Brunk is out. Navarro goes in. We're checking other substitutions. Erickson was hurt on the play, and Bob Solari will come in to replace him at quarterback. Score, Northwestern 13, California 7. As a timeout here for the injury, and a cheer from across the way by California. Let's listen. California's ball, 1st and 10 on their own 41. And you've got Bob Solari directing California attack now at quarterback, a guy who likes to gamble. He has the ball, and he hands it off now to his left halfback. It's Billy Main running laterally to his right. He can't make progress upfield as he runs laterally all the way over to the near sideline. Is rushed by Tommy Worthington. Worthington at the defensive left halfback spot moved in to meet the play. Not too much on the play as the ball is advanced to the 44-yard line. A gain of 3 makes it 2nd and 7 for California. On their own 44, the ball 20 yards in from the near sideline. We'll watch the Bears move. They got Billy Main in their left halfback, but Swanner, the right halfback, moves out to the left as a flanker, and on a quick-moving T-formation play, the ball is handed off to Billy Main, running wide to his left, cuts back in between the end of the tackle, moves down short of the midfield stripe, whereas Steve Saul and George Sondheim collaborate on the defensive play for Northwestern. The ball is on the 48-yard line of Northwestern. A gain of 4 yards on the play, 3rd and 3 for the Bears, who are beginning to move a bit now against that Northwestern line. So we'll watch them. Defensive signals being given by Alex Sarkeesian. Sondheim, Sarkeesian, Witeka backing up the line for Northwestern. Bob Solari underneath the center, ready to move his backs. He has the ball, and he hands it off now to Swanner, who's grabbed around the shoulders immediately by Ray Witeka. What a backer up he is. And there was Swanner still driving, kept driving, carrying Witeka with him, and Art Murakowski had to come on in to finally bring him to earth with Alex Sarkeesian also in on the play. And there was a gain instead of a loss because of the driving propensities of Jack Swanner, who was caught for a 2-yard loss, but kept driving and turned it into approximately a yard gain to the 49-yard line. And thus it's 4th down coming up, a yard to go. And now will California gamble again as they did a moment ago, trailing 13-7. They are. They're going to try for that first down. And let's see whether they make it. Bob Solari, the ball, hands it off to Swanner, who drives to try for that first down. He's piled up the line of scrimmage at midfield. The middle of that Northwestern line with the backer-ups moving in to try and stop him. And there's a big pile-up, and we'll see whether or not the California gamble proved to be successful. It failed. Jimmy Kane says, no, they just missed it. They just missed it. You got to take your hat off, though, to California for playing that wide-open type of game, sort of a crowd-pleasing game. They just missed by inches getting that first down, and Northwestern takes over 1st and 10 at midfield. All right, we'll watch Northwestern move now as Don Burson in that quarterback. Fades for a pass. He's being rushed, and then he tries to run, but then he stops and fumbles. There's a pile up on the 42-yard line of Northwestern. And let's see what happens. Don Burson attempting a pass, leaped into the air, couldn't get it away, was hit hard in there by Rod Franz, the right guard. There is a circle of football players from both California and Northwestern around Jimmy Kane, and he signals California's ball. California recovered that fumble. There was a big pile up, and we couldn't tell who recovered individually, but it's California's ball on the Northwestern 44-yard line. As they recovered that fumble, the ball knocked out of the hands of Don Burson as he attempted to pass with Rod Franz in there to hit him hard. And now there's a timeout here for Northwestern with the score, Northwestern 13, Cal 7, and a break in favor of the Golden Bears. First and 10 for California on the Northwestern 44. And you've got Paul Keckley out wide to the right. The ball is handed off, however, in there to Will Lauder. He's driving hard past the 40, the 40 to the 35, down to the 30-yard line on a beautiful drive by Frank Bruck. Tommy Worthington finally got him with Pee Wee Day. Frank Bruck in there at fullback for California in place of Jackie Jensen is really driving hard in there for the Golden Bears and moved down to the 30-yard line of Northwestern. First and 10 for California. And we'll watch them as Dick Erickson is now in there at quarterback. He has the ball, and he hands it off to his left halfback. Driving hard, Paul Keckley down the near sideline to the 25 and knocked out of bounds by Tom Worthington once again. Worthington playing a whale of a game at the defensive left halfback spot for Northwestern with Fats O'Day, the right guard, moving in to help make the tackle. California recovering that fumble on Northwestern's 44. And with Frank Bruck moving that ball, and Paul Keckley have moved it down to the 25-yard line. Keckley was hurt on the play. Don Stonecipher's gone in to replace Joe Zaroblev at left end for Northwestern. It's 13-7 in favor of the Wildcats from Evanston. And Paul Keckley, a senior from Pomona, California, who moved that ball from the 30 of Northwestern down to the 25 on a driving run, was hurt on the play as he was hit hard and is being helped off the field. He was hit and driven out of bounds and fell in to a cameraman along the sideline, and that may have helped in the injury that was sustained. California will substitute Charlie Sarver, Jr. from Bakersfield, California, in place of Paul Keckley, and California is ready, 2nd and 5 on the Northwestern 25 with Erickson underneath the center. Cal ready to move. The ball is handed off to Staten Webster, who drives straight across the line of scrimmage over right guard and moves past the line of scrimmage down to the Northwestern 23 on a bit of a power surge. Staten Webster of San Francisco is moved in place of Swanner. Stopped by Alex Sarkeesian and Steve Saul of Northwestern. The ball on the Northwestern 23-yard line, a gain of 2, so it's 3rd and 3 for the Golden Bears. Trailing Northwestern 13-7, third quarter, 5 minutes to go. Erickson, the quarterback, Charlie Sarver at left half. Frank Brunk at full, and Staten Webster at right half. And you've got Webster, the right halfback, lined up wide to the left as a flanker. And there is Erickson with the ball, and he hands it off to Frank Brunk, the fullback, driving hard down to the 20, down to the 18-yard line before he's finally stopped by Art Murakowski. Boy, that Brunk can go. It was Jackie Jensen, filled up as the great All-America fullback for California, who broke loose for a 68-yard run for Cal's touchdown earlier in the game. He was hurt, and Frank Brunk has come in to replace him and has done a magnificent job, and it's a first down for California on the Northwestern 18. And the Golden Bears are really moving, and we'll watch them now. Sarver, Brunk, and Webster in the backfield. Erickson directing the attack, and he hands the ball off to the fullback. Brunk driving into the middle. He doesn't get anywhere. Don Stonecipher, the left end, was in there to meet the play, and Lawrence Day, the right guard. As a matter of fact, he lost a yard on the play, and thus it is 2nd down, 11 to go for California on the Northwestern 19. Alex Sarkeesian giving defensive signals. Northwestern in a 6-man line, almost an 8-man line when a 9-man line when the ball is snapped. And now we'll watch Erickson with that ball. He's fading for a pass. He throws. It's intended for incomplete for Charlie Sarver on the 5-yard line. Art Murakowski was over there to defend, but the ball was overthrown, incomplete, and thus California has to come back and try over again as they seek to tie or go ahead in a terrific struggle here in the Rose Bowl. One of the toughest battles this traditional bowl has ever been witness to. Over 93,000 fans out here today, and they're watching a torrid struggle, believe you me. It is third down, coming up 11 to go for California on the Northwestern 19. And you've got a flanker out here to the right. That's Charlie Sarver. Now Erickson, the ball, hands it off to the left. Driving hard in there to the 15, down to the 10, almost to the 8-yard line. It was Frank Buck, the fullback, who drove hard down to the 6-yard line. George Sondheim made the tackle, the first down for Cal. Frank Buck, who has replaced Jensen, driving beautifully. Go from the 19 down to the 6. And it is a first down, 6 to go. And they send Sarver in motion out to the right. And there is Erickson with that ball. And he hands it off to Brunk, but he's stopped back behind the line of scrimmage on the 7-yard line. In there hard by Don Stonecipher, who knifed through from his left end position. And Jimmy Kane places that ball down on the 7-yard line, a loss of a yard. And thus it is second down and 7 to go for a TD. And now you've got Swanner coming back into the ball game for California, replacing Staten Webster. And thus it's Erickson at quarter, Sarver at left half, Brunk at full, and Swanner at right half. And we'll watch them now. Second down, 7 to go for a TD for California. Erickson with that ball. And he hands it off to Swanner, driving off right guard. He gets down to about the 5-yard line, the middle of that Northwestern forward wall, piles him up, with Steve Saul spearheading the defensive play, and Ray Wateka, a backer up, coming in, along with Alex Sarkeesian. There's a man hurt on the play for Northwestern, getting up very slowly, and it is Alex Sarkeesian, captain of the Wildcats, an inspirational leader, a great ball player. Ball's on the 5.5-yard line, third down coming up, and they've got Jackie Swanner lined up wide to the left. You've got Brunk at full, and Sarver on his left. Erickson with the ball, hands it off to Sarver, and he's hit at the 5 and drives forward to about the 4. George Sondheim hit him around the middle and dropped him. And Jimmy Kane allows the forward progress down to the Northwestern 4-yard line, and we've got fourth down coming up. Northwestern leading California 13 to 7, and this great crowd of 93,000 people are all standing up. What's going to happen on this play? Will Cal tie the score? Fourth down coming up. 4 yards to go for a TD. 93,000 people standing in a row are coming up, and we'll watch them. We'll watch them move now. It's Sarver, Brunk, and Swanner. And Erickson with that ball. Hands it to Swanner. Swanner drives, and he's over! Spot in T-formation, slanted off left guard and went over for the touchdown. It's 13-13. And now the try for the extra point by Jim Cullum. He's the guy who beat Stanford for California 7-6, put them in the Rose Bowl, and now he's got a chance to put California ahead of Northwestern. Erickson holding that ball, and we'll watch the snap, the place, the kick. It is good. Pop in here for a minute, John. Did your hair stand up on your head?
Frankly, Mel, this is the most surprising thing that I have ever seen in my life. The whole first half was made complete and thrilling by 2 very long runs. The second half, the 2 lines have been a little bit more even, and it's been power that's driven California down to tie this score up. This 13-13 score in the third quarter with a whole fourth quarter to go, of course, can be changed. But it shows that California is a really great team. 14-13 now, just because of that 1 point after touchdown, which puts California in the lead. Can Northwestern come back? We'll see now as you describe the rest of this, and California gets ready to kick off. Come on in, Mel.
We're in the third quarter with just about a minute to go. Hank Borghi will kick off for California. Jim Cullum, who kicked the extra point, had kicked 35 out of 40 during the season. And now there is Borghi running forward. Here's his kickoff for Cal. A beauty, end over end, going deep down to the 5-yard line. Taken by Ed Tunnicliffe up to the 10, slanting over to the far side of the field. He's caught as he gets to the 15 and is knocked out of bounds on the 17-yard line. Rod Franz of San Francisco, a junior, All-America guard for Cal, knocked Tunnicliffe out of bounds on the 17 as Borghi's kick was a beauty, high into the air. It gave Cal's men time to get down and cover that kick. And it's Northwestern's ball, 1st and 10 on their own 17, 18-yard line, let's call it. And there is Northwestern's Murakowski stopped at the line of scrimmage as he tried on a power surge to move through the California forward ball with Bob Heilman, a backer up, in there to make the tackle. You've got Will Lauder, defensive, backing up the line on the left side for Cal, Baker in the middle, and Heilman on the right, backing up the 5-man line. And now we'll watch California, Northwestern, second down, and the ball is handed off to Gasper Perricone, in from Murakowski, cracks through the middle, past the line of scrimmage, the 20, down to about the 21-yard line. Hit hard in there by Jim Turner, who's gone in a left tackle for California. And thus it's third down coming up. The ball in Northwestern's possession on their own 22-yard line, we'll call it. Third down, and about 6 to go for a first down. And there's Don Burson underneath the center, quickly moving, hands that ball off to Ed Tunnicliffe, and he can't go. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, and Cal's line is playing magnificent ball now as they're inspired by a 1-point lead. And so Northwestern unable to move. Burson comes out, Sondheim goes in, as Northwestern will move into punt formation. Bob Heilman was the boy who made the tackle for California in the previous play. And now we've got Billy Main in safety for Cal. Aschenbrenner kicking for Northwestern. He gets a nice high kickoff going down to the California 37, taken by Main. He's driving hard and fumbles, and let's see who recovered. They pile up on the Northwestern 43-yard line. Billy Main moved that ball upfield. It was hit hard, and the ball popped out of his hands. There was a fumble on the Northwestern 43. Jimmy Kane hasn't signaled yet. It is Cal's ball. Jim Turner, left tackle for California, recovered the fumble. Chuck Hagman, the right end for Northwestern, hit Main hard, made him fumble. The ball popped out of his hand some 10 yards upfield, but Jim Turner recovered. And with that play, the third period comes to an end with a score: California 14, Northwestern 13. California's ball, 1st and 10 on the Northwestern 44. And now they're moving, and the ball is handed off to Jackie Swanner. Comes around his own left end, gets down to the 42-yard line of Northwestern, where Art Murakowski piles him up. It is 14-13 in favor of California. The ball on the Northwestern 42, gain of 2 yards, 2nd and 8. Ray DeJong was hurt on the play, the left guard for Cal, and is being replaced by John Baker. All right, we'll watch Cal. The ball 20 yards in from the near sideline. Northwestern in a 6-3-2 defense now. Erickson with the ball, hands it off to Billy Main, cracking through the middle and going for yardage down to the 35. On a quick opening T formation burst through there, and Jimmy Kane puts it down to the 34-yard line of Northwestern. And that Northwestern line, which was so rugged during the first half and part of that third period, is now yielding to the terrific driving of California. They're going to measure to see whether or not a first down was picked up on that thrust by Cal, leading Northwestern 14-13. Northwestern scored first on Aschenbrenner's 73-yard run. Jensen retaliated just a moment later with a 68-yard run to tie it up. Murakowski scored to put Northwestern ahead 13-7. And Cal has come on to move ahead 14-13. We're in the final period with 14 minutes of playing time remaining. Just short of a first down. You got Anderson in for Day at right guard for Northwestern. California ready to move. Third down. About a yard to go for a first down. A little bit less than a yard, say a half yard. They're all set to move now. And the ball is handed off in there, and a thrust through the middle by Jackie Swanner. Trying for that first down. There's a pile-up on about the 34-yard line. Sarkeesian, Stahl, and Wateku in there to make the defensive play for Northwestern. Jimmy Kane looks over, and he signals a first down for California. Jimmy Kane put the ball down on the 33-yard line. And it's Cal's ball, 1st and 10 on the Northwestern 33. They're moving. And you've got Billy Main, the left halfback, lined up in the flanker wide to the right. Dick Erickson underneath that center. And he hands the ball off to Jackie Swannert, cracking off his own right guard, goes down to about the 32-yard line, where Alex Sarkeesian, backing up, moves in to meet the play with the help of his mates. Jimmy Kane waits till the boys untangle, picks the ball up, looks over the sideline, and places the ball down on the 32-yard line of Northwestern. A gain of a yard, 2nd and 9. 2nd and 9 for California. California 14, Northwestern 13. 13 minutes to go in the ball game. And now we'll watch Cal. All right, they've got Billy Main, the left halfback, lined up in the flanker wide to the right. Dick Erickson up underneath the center with the ball. And he hands it off now to Frank Bunk, the fullback, running laterally. Rogers right, touchback. A Northwestern man misses him. He drives up to the 30. And finally there, Burton Ketty, the right end, in place of Hagman, finally hit him and brought him down. And it was Steve Saul, the left tackle from Kenilworth, Illinois, who helped make the play. Jimmy Kane puts the ball down on the Northwestern 29-yard line, a gain of 3, 3rd and 6 for California as they're on the move. The ball is now about 25 yards in from the far side of the field. Time is running out. 12 minutes left to go in the 4th period. 3rd and 6. And you've got Billy Main. Split wide to the left this time for Cal. Dick Erickson with the ball. Fades for a pass, throws. He's got a man in the clear on the 19. He's got it. He fumbles. And it's recovered on the 12 by California. George Souza caught the pass, thrown to him. And it's Cal's ball as Norm Presley, the left end, came in to recover the fumble on the Northwestern 13-yard line. And here's the way that play went. Dick Erickson shot a pass into the right flat to George Souza, who was hit hard in there by Worthington, fumbled. And Norm Presley, the left end, who had also gone downfield, had gone down to about the 10-yard line, came back upfield to pounce on that loose ball, and it's California's ball, 1st and 10 on the Northwestern 13. A timeout here for the Wildcats, and you've got Don Stonecipher moving in now at left end to replace Joe Zaroblev. All right, California 1st and 10 on the Northwestern 13. And there's Erickson handing the ball off to Jackie Swannert. He doesn't get very far as he comes from his right half-back position, cutting over the left side of his own line. Stopped by Burton Ketty on the Northwestern 12. A yard pickup with John Cunningham in there to throw a block for him. And we have 2nd down coming up for California. 9 to go on the Northwestern 12. John Cunningham in there at right end now for Cal. And we'll watch Erickson with that ball. And he hands it off to Main. Main doesn't go anywhere, down to about the 11. As Richie Anderson, the right guard, is in there, knifing through to hit him hard. Met him head on and dropped him just about the line of scrimmage. Jimmy Kane says he gained a yard. And the ball is on the 11-yard line of Northwestern. 3rd down to go. California leading 14-13. You got Billy Main, the left halfback, and a flanker out wide to the right. Erickson with the ball. Fades for a pass. He's throwing out into the flat to Main. He has it on the 10. He's down to the 8, driving hard down to about the 7-yard line. Boy, he refused to be brought down to the ground. A pass from Erickson to Billy Main, who lined up in the flanker to the right, as we told you. Took that sharp pass out there and moved 4 yardage with George Sondheim hitting him. But Billy Main from Alamo, California, kept driving and moved it down to the 8-yard line of Northwestern, a gain of 3 yards. And thus it's 4th and 5 for California, leading Northwestern 14-13 with 10 minutes to go in the ball game. And now this is the big play. You've got Billy Main, the left halfback, lined up wide to the right. Jackie Swannert deep. It's Erickson with the ball. He's fading for a pass, throws, and it's incomplete in the end zone. Incomplete, intended for John Cunningham. Right over the middle. It's Cunningham, the right end. Cut across the line of scrimmage, cut to his left, dove for the ball in the end zone, but he couldn't get his hands on it, and Northwestern takes over. Northwestern takes over, 1st and 10. Trailing 14-13 with about 10 minutes to go. 1st and 10 on their own 8-yard line. They got a long way to go. And here's Burson handing that ball off to Ashton Benner on a beautiful cutback as he goes to his right, moves up to the 10 or the 11, where he's brought down by Herb Potting, the right guard from Daly City, California. Frank Ashenbrenner, who got Northwestern off to a good start with a 73-yard run for the first touchdown of the ball game, only to see it matched by Jensen's 68-yard run. Just moved that ball down to the 11. 2nd and 7 for Northwestern. Don Burson directing the attack. And he hands the ball off now to Ed Tunnicliffe, who is running laterally to his left. Is dumped on the 11-yard line by Billy Montagna, who moved up from his defensive right halfback spot as a man from Cal, George Sousa, made a dive for him and couldn't get him. But Montagna came up to meet him, and thus Northwestern, unable to move, finds 3rd down coming up. Still 7 to go, the ball their own 11-yard line. And California rising to the occasion. Now here is Ashenbrenner and a flanker out wide to the right. And the ball kept by Burson. He throws a pass and knocked down on the 3 and almost intercepted by John Nigerian, the left tackle. As he pushed the passer, stuck his big hand up and batted that ball into the air and dove for it and almost had it in his hands on the Northwestern 3, but the ball fell to the ground incomplete. And so Northwestern, with time running out on them, 9 minutes left, taking to the air deep in their own territory. And now it's 4th down coming up, 7 to go. Sondheim goes in to replace Burson. Ashenbrenner will punt, and you've got Billy Main in safety for California. And the Bears are in position now to pick up valuable ground. We'll watch Ashenbrenner. He's going to kick from his own goal line, the snap from center. He's being rushed. He gets his kick away, a beauty, going out to the 47-yard line of Northwestern, taken by Billy Main, getting blocking. He can't get too far. He moves up to the 42, where Chuck Hagman is in there, and Don Stonecipher, the 2 ends, beautifully down under the kick to drop him, and it's California's ball. 1st and 10 on the Northwestern 42. And so time is now of the essence. It's California 14, Northwestern 13, as the Wildcats missed the try for point on their second touchdown, which put them ahead 13-7 at halftime. And Cal has come back to move ahead 14-13. Now you've got Charlie Sarver, or rather Tim Menahan, in there at quarterback for California. Tim Menahan directing the attack. He hands the ball off to his left halfback, Billy Main, cracking off left guard. Goes past the 40 to the Northwestern 39, where Ray Witeka, backer up from East Chicago, Indiana, makes the tackle, and Richie Anderson, the right guard, helps him out. Ball on the 39. A gain of 3 yards on the play. 2nd and 7 for California. They've got Tim Menahan at quarter. Frank Brunk is in there at full. Charlie Sarver at left half. Menahan in there at quarter. California ready to move once again. Menahan with the ball. Hands it off this time to Jack Swanner, the right halfback, coming around to his left. Cuts back in between the end and the tackle. Goes down the 38-yard line. And dropping him there for Northwestern was Ray Witeka and Richie Anderson. The ball is on the Northwestern 37-yard line, a gain of 2, 3rd and 5. Bob Solari replaces Menahan at quarterback. Billy Main at left half. Frank Brunk at full. Jack Swanner at right half. There's Billy Main going out in the flanker, wide to the right. Bob Solari underneath the center. You've got Brunk deep and Swanner alongside of him. And there's a pitch out and a handoff from Brunk to Main, coming off his right wingback spot, and he is caught for a loss and dropped on about the 40-yard line by Chuck Hagman and Ray Witeka. That was a complicated sort of a play, with the ball being handed off by Bob Solari to Frank Brunk, the fullback, who went to his right, handed the ball off to Billy Main, the left halfback, who was lined up as a flanker to the right, and what you would call a reverse off a T-formation setup. Pappy Waldorf, of course, taught T-formation at Northwestern before he moved over to T-formation. Taught that single wing, and he's mixing it up just a little bit, giving it the T-formation he's using a bit of the flavor of the single wing. So it's 4th down coming up, and in punt formation. A bad pass from center. The kick is gotten away by Brunk, and it is going down to the 2-yard line, taken by Ashenbrenner up to the 5. He's being chased. He's up to the 10. He step-arms one man, gets up to the 12, and is run out of bounds by Bob Solari. And so Northwestern now, with 6 minutes left in the game, will be hard-pressed to move as they take over on their own 12-yard line. 1st and 10 for Northwestern on their own 12. Northwestern has not been able to score in the second half. They led 13-7 at halftime. California came along to move ahead 14-13. We'll watch them now. You've got Don Burson in there at quarterback. He hands the ball off to Ed Tunnicliffe, the right halfback, who's dumped end over end, fumbles, and who recovers? It looks as if George Sousa recovered on the 13-yard line. Jimmy Kane did not signal yet. Maybe the whistle blew ahead. We'll watch him. It's Northwestern's ball still. The whistle before the fumble. Ed Tunnicliffe carried that ball from right halfback on a handoff from Don Burson. Cut over the left side of his own line and was upended by George Sousa and fumbled the ball. So it is 2nd and 9 coming up for Northwestern. Burson handing the ball over this time to Aschenbrenner, throwing a pass, and it's completed on the 25 to John Stonecipher. And he moves forward to the 30-yard line. Hit and stopped by Billy Main. On a handoff from Burson to Frank Aschenbrenner, who went to his right, fired a pass to his left end. Don Stonecipher caught it on the 25 and raced to the 30. It's a first down for Northwestern. Can the Wildcats do it with 5 minutes left? Trailing Cal 14-13, 1st and 10 on their own 30. The ball 20 yards in from the near sideline. Here is Don Burson pitching out now to Gaspar Perricone, running wide to his left. He's up to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, and is driven out of bounds on the Northwestern 44-yard line on a brilliant run with Frank Van Deren knocking him out of bounds. It was Chuck Hagman who threw the key block on the play. It was Don Burson taking that ball, faking it off to Frank Aschenbrenner, and finally pitching out to Gaspar Perricone, his fullback, who ran laterally to his left, cut up the far side of the field, and drove to the Northwestern 44. It's another first down for the Wildcats, who are beginning to snarl now as they trail 14-13 in this Rose Bowl game in Pasadena. 1st and 10 for Northwestern. Their own 44. Burton Kenny is in at right end now. And the ball is pitched out this time to Frank Aschenbrenner, running wide to his right to the 45, almost up to midfield. Is knocked out of bounds just short of the 50-yard line by Tim Minahan, who's in there in the secondary defensively now for California. You've got Billy Montagna, defensive right halfback. Billy Main in safety. Tim Minahan, defensive left halfback, with Will Lauder backing up the left side for Cal. Baker in the middle, Heilman on the right. And the ball is placed by Jim Kane on the 48-yard line. It is 2nd down and 6 to go for Northwestern. And now the ball is handed off to Tunnicliffe on a quick break through the middle. Gets up to the 50-yard line. A handkerchief on the play. There may have been 12 men on the field. We're just assuming that, as Ray DeJong may not have gotten off before the play was in progress. And the officials take a timeout here. A handkerchief was dropped on the play. Ray DeJong was trotting off the field, and he may not have gotten off before the play was executed. And thus, California may be penalized 5 yards for that, and that's exactly what it is. So Northwestern has the ball now on the California 47-yard line. We'll watch them as they move 2nd down. And here is the ball pitched out from Burson to Perricone, who's running to his left. He's hit and dropped on the California 48 by Billy Montagna, the defensive right halfback, moving up to meet the play. And Perricone grabs that ball after he's hit and gets up and slams it to the ground, angry because he couldn't go for that yardage. Now Billy Montagna, who made the tackle for California, is injured on the play and is being helped off the field. And Frank Bunt will come on in to replace him for California. So Northwestern, with 3rd down coming up and about 3 yards to go for that first down, finds Burson handing that ball off to Perricone, trying to crack through the middle, trying to go for the first down, but he's short of it. Jimmy Kane marks the spot. It's on about the California 46 or 7-yard line, about the 47-yard line of Cal, as Northwestern, moving beautifully from their own 12, trying to go with 4 minutes left in the game now. It's on about the California 46 or 7-yard line, about the 47-yard line of Cal, as Northwestern, moving beautifully from their own 12, trying to go with 4 minutes left in the game now, and they are a yard short of a first down on the California 47, and now there are 3 minutes left to go in the game, with California leading Northwestern 14-13. And this is a big play for the Wildcats. Can they do it? With Aschenbrenner, Perricone, and Tunnicliffe in there. Don Burson hands it off to Perricone, driving over left tackle, and it's going to be awfully close as John Cunningham, the right end, stopped him. The It's going to be awfully close, and let's see, it's a first down for Northwestern. Northwestern, 1st and 10 on the California 45. And with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in the ball game, can the Wildcats come from behind? California leads 14-13. All right, it's Stonecipher and Kenny at the end. Burson, the quarterback. And with that ball, he hands it off to Aschenbrenner. Fakes the pass. He's running. He is being caught. Then he gets down to the 43 and is driven out of bounds beautifully by Bob Saleri. The defensive left halfback who came up and ran Aschenbrenner wide. Frank tried to cut inside him, couldn't, and was driven out of bounds on the California 43-yard line. A 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8. And you've got Bill Foreman moving in for Rudy Cernock at right tackle for Northwestern. And boy, the time is running out on the Wildcats as Cal leads 14-13. And about 2 minutes left. And now the left halfback, Aschenbrenner, motion to the right, a direct snap from center to Tunnicliffe. He's running. He's to the 20, to the 25, to the 20. He's down to the 10, the 5. He's over. He's over for the TD. By Northwestern with the clock running out on them. An 88-yard drive in 9 plays to move ahead of California, 19-14, on a direct snap from center. California was caught, and Ed Tunnicliffe carried that ball around the right side, cut in over his own right tackle, and moved as he popped into the secondary for that TD. And now Jim Farrar will try the extra point with Don Burson holding. Boy, what a burst. Man, oh man, what a game before these 93,000 folks in the Rose Bowl. The snap, the place to kick, and it is good. And Northwestern leads by a score of 20-14 with under 2 minutes left in the game. Ed Tunnicliffe, a 5'11", 165-pound junior from Kewanee, Illinois, on a 43-yard burst, went for the touchdown that puts Northwestern ahead 20-14 as Jim Farrar, who probably was eating his heart out on the bench because he missed one try for a point, and it looked as if Cal might win it by that 1 point. And Jim Farrar then went in to kick this extra point to make it 20-14 with about 1 minute and 55 seconds left in the ball game. And so now we're ready for Northwestern to kick off to California with 1 minute 55 to go. Aschenbrenner went 73, Jensen 68, Tunnicliffe 43, and Murakowski popped over from the 1 after Aschenbrenner's punt return of some 33 yards had set it up. And that's the way the scoring has gone. And now George Maddock will kick off for Northwestern. He runs forward. Here's his boot. It's a low line drive type of kick that Jackie Swanner goes over, bats down, picks up on the 14s, up to the 15, to the 20. 2 men from Northwestern miss him. He's past the 20 to the 22, and Bill Foreman finally brings him down. Lawrence Day, who is a twin of Pee Wee Day, Northwestern back, was in on the tackle. And California now has the ball, 1st and 10 on its own 21. And now will the Golden Bears be able to move in 1.5 minutes left at their disposal to pull this one out of the fire. You've got Charlie Sarver in a flanker wide to the left. Bob Saleri in there at quarterback. And Saleri, with that ball, starts to fade for his pass. He's being rushed. He gets his pass away, and it is caught but out of bounds. Caught but out of bounds on the 48-yard line of California by Johnny Cunningham. Cunningham went up into the air, caught the ball, but he was out of bounds when he caught it. A tough break for California. And so it goes, simply as an incompleted pass, and California will have to try it all over. As Bob Saleri faded back to about his 10, heaved one about 40 yards in the air, which John Cunningham caught, but he caught it out of bounds. Now Charlie Peter has gone in at center for the first time today for Northwestern. Sarkeesian is out. Alex usually plays about 60 minutes, but now it is 2nd and 10 for Cal. Charlie Sarver in a flanker wide to the right. Ball on Cal's 21. And here is Saleri handing the ball off to Jackie Swanner, who's running wide to his left. He's up to the 20, to the 25, to the 30. He's got blockers. He's to the 35, and then he's hit and dropped short of the 40-yard line by Bill Foreman. And the Golden Bear is driving back. Hank Bargy in there threw a key block for Jackie Smarter to make that run possible from the 21-yard line of California to the Californians' 38-yard line, where Jim Kane finally places that ball down. A 17-yard burst, and there are 45 seconds left in the game. Sarkeesian is back in, 1st and 10 on the 38 of California for California, and the ball is held by Solari. He throws a pass, and it is completed on the 45 of Northwestern to Frank Brunt. A beautiful pass thrown by Bob Solari as he faked beautifully in there to his back, hid the ball in his hip, went far to his right, and heaved that ball to Frank Brunt, cutting down the far side of the field with Tommy Worthington moving in to make the tackle for Northwestern. And now it is Cal's ball. With the clock stopped, 1st and 10 on the Northwestern 45. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, this is a ball game that's had everybody's attention all the way from the very opening moment. The clock shows about 30 seconds left. Can Cal do it? They've got Charlie Sarver, the flanker, out here to the left. Bob Solari in there at corner will probably throw that ball. Now he has it, and he fades for his pass, getting protection. Men down the field. One man almost gets him. Now he's running, and he's upended on the 43-yard line of California on a beautiful play. Let's get him for Northwestern. It was number 71 in there. Bill Foreman, a junior from Chicago, made a shoestring tackle as he stuck out one hand as Solari was trying to avoid him and heaved that ball. And the score is Northwestern 20, Cal 14. I said 30 seconds before. I misread the clock. It was 1:30. So we're ready to move now with about 55 seconds left, and California is on the move. And here is Solari with that ball, fading for a pass. Got great protection. A long one downfield. It's a long, long pass. Intercepted on the 9 by Pee Wee Day. He's back up to the 15 to the 20. He's running to the 30, to the 35. He's up to the 40 and is knocked out of bounds on the 43-yard line of Northwestern. Boy, oh boy, that pass thrown by Bob Solari, intended for Charlie Sarver, a speed merchant. He heaved it all the way for the TD, hoping for it, but Pee Wee Day leaped into the air, intercepted that ball at about his own 10, and brought it back beautifully upfield and was knocked out of bounds on the Northwestern 42-yard line, says Jimmy Kane, with Frank Van Deren finally knocking him out of bounds. And with 35 seconds now remaining in the game, a moment ago I said it was 30. It was 1 minute and 30. I misread the clock there for a moment. And with Northwestern leading 20-14, they're just going to try and kill that clock, and we'll watch them. As Don Burson underneath the center is on a quarterback sneak, goes through the middle for about 2 yards, just eating up the clock, and the seconds are moving. And there are 25 seconds left in the game. Northwestern 20, California 14. Boy, what an electrifying pass that was that Solari threw, intended for Sarver. And it was Pee Wee Day who saved the day for Northwestern right then and there. A tough break for California as they really put the play on beautifully. And here is Northwestern slowly coming out of the huddle. 5 seconds about left in the game. I don't know whether they'll get this play off or not. There's Burson underneath the center. A quarterback sneak. He is piled up, and according to the clock, the ball game should be over. And it is, and Northwestern wins it 20-14. And the entire Northwestern club goes out onto the field to shake the hands and pat the backs of their teammates on the field. And the California boys, many of them stopped to shake hands with the Northwestern boys. It's a great spectacle, great sportsmanship, a great ball game all the way, with Northwestern taking the lead at halftime, 13-7, only to see Cal come back and lead 14-13 up to almost the very end. And then a tremendous inspirational drive by Northwestern carried them to the top, 20-14. But to tell you more about it, here is Johnny Harrington, who was sitting here biting his fingernails, enjoying a football game right to the hill. How about it, John?
Right you are, Mel. I never saw a game that I enjoyed any more. I saw this Northwestern team from Evanston, Illinois, go out in front with one of the finest runs that I have ever seen any halfback make in Aschenbrenner. After Aschenbrenner had run 74 yards to put them out in front, and Farrar had kicked the point after touchdown to make it 7-0, they kicked off. And on the first play by California after Northwestern's touchdown, a boy proved himself to me to be one of the greatest All-Americans I've ever seen, and that's Jack Jensen, who ran 68 yards on the first play and ran for a touchdown for California. The point was made, and it was 7-7. The line play had been equal up until this time. So had the backfields. See the games that I have ever witnessed in any stadium. And to see it in the Rose Bowl certainly made it perfect this afternoon. There were some bad breaks in the ball game, but I think those were even. Such as we discussed before when Cunningham dropped a pass that was right into his hands. Murakowski ran some 42 yards and then had to walk back with the football because it was nullified by an offside. And then when Northwestern was ahead by a score of 13-7, California came back, romped down that field. They went through beautifully, and they scored and made it 14-13, which put them ahead. California then put up a brilliant defense. Northwestern could hardly go anyplace. Northwestern kicked to California. California started back. They couldn't make it. Grade. They were stopped by this fine defensive play by Northwestern. After they were stopped, Northwestern took over the ball and seemed to become electrified. Perhaps, however, the whole key of this ball game is in that twisted ankle or pulled muscle of Jackie Jensen, which put him out of the ball game, and he wasn't in the second half because it could have changed the whole picture had he been in there. He wasn't playing. I don't take any credit away from Brunk, who played in his place. Frankie Brunk, he played a beautiful game for California, but Jack Jensen being out of the game with a pulled muscle might have made the difference. Now, here are some other final scores. Sugar Bowl, Oklahoma, 14, North Carolina, 6. At the Cotton Bowl, SMU 21, Oregon 13. At the Orange Bowl, Texas 41, Georgia 28. At the Gator Bowl, Clemson 24, Missouri 23. And here in California, in Pasadena, at the Rose Bowl, Northwestern University 20, University of California 14, in one of the greatest offensive and defensive games I think we have ever seen. And again, here is Mel Allen. Come in, Mel.
Much obliged to you, John. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the 35th Rose Bowl game is now history. The 60th annual Tournament of Roses is now history. But it will be history long remembered by those who've seen them. I should like to take just this moment before we bid you goodbye to thank the men of the Tournament of Roses, the Rose Bowl Committee, for making it such a tremendous pleasure to sit in on this grand spectacle and enjoy it all the way.